yeah, you'd bring in all these people, and that's definitely one way to do it. But the other thing that we don't do enough of is drop in. You know, find out where your legislators' offices are and get in the habit of dropping by when there's something going on like the state budget. It is perfectly okay. In fact, it's your civic duty and your right as a citizen to stop by and just say, hi, just want to introduce, and you can do it with the receptionist. Doesn't matter. Hi, just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Jessica. I'm one of your constituents. I'm really concerned about the proposal to cut IHSS. Really opposed to it. Is there somebody I could talk to for a minute? Talk to them, roll away, come back, do it again next week. Really, really, really effective.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Wright from the United Domestic Workers of America. I'm a political coordinator in the Central Region, and I got a chance to work with you in San Luis Obispo County, and I appreciate the hard work on every level, locally and statewide. I have a lot of respect for you, and I appreciate your hard work. My question is regarding the first part of your presentation about the budget deal that was reached, and you defined it as a win. And I'll be honest with you, I'm new to this, and I'm working with my members, and my members don't see it as a win at all. They see it as a cut, and I'm trying to explain that to them. So how do we reconcile that, and how do we create that anger necessary to make folks upset about cuts and get them going for this coming year?
Right. Well, I mean, I think both are right. In IHSS, the provider fee is, you know, it's one of those moving money from place to place, but my understanding of it is that it ends up coming back to the providers through leveraging federal dollars. The 3.6% hourly cut, excuse me, I don't understand how they plan to do that. My understanding from Jessica Lehman and Western Center on Law and Poverty is that because they're kicking it to the stakeholder process, that it's one of those things that people feel like it can be, basically, you know, it's kind of like a shell game. It's here, it's here, it's here. Oops, where'd it go? But, so in that sense, it's like, well, given what we were facing and the proposal to eliminate IHSS, that's better. We would count that as cuts that are not direct cuts to consumers. On the other hand, from a philosophical standpoint, if you're looking at, yeah, they cut a program that is for people with disabilities while giving tax breaks to corporations, it's completely messed up. And the frame is totally wrong. So I think it's hard to know. I mean, I think both are right. We kept the worst from happening. That was our goal. Our goal was not to not have any cuts. Our goal was to keep our programs intact and to keep consumers from losing services. And given the situation with the 2/3 rule and a Republican governor who was willing to do $1 billion in line item vetoes, we think we did pretty well. But from the perspective of what is our situation, what do we have to work with, it's not good enough. And I hope that on November 2nd, everybody votes. I hope you're all on the phone banks. We need a governor who understands IHSS, Health and Human Services. We need a majority vote budget. We can't keep, you know, this, if we keep on the path we're on, it'll be a 3.6% cut until the program's gone. So, and I want to thank you. When I got arrested in Sacramento, I got all these lovely emails from UDW members, and I know that was you or one of your staff doing that, and I really appreciated it.
You spoke about visiting the elected official, contacting him and writing with him. Hello, have some water. Does this also apply to his local representative? Because we have a local office where I live with a rep.
Absolutely,
Oh, I see him all the time.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, your meeting does not have to be with the legislator. You know, it's like legislators are like an octopus, and every single member of their staff is one of their tentacles, and even the receptionist. It doesn't matter who you talk to. What matters is that they are reporting, we've got people coming in about that IHSS cut.
Hi, Jessica. I'm happy you're here. I'm one of the strongest admirers of your hard work and sacrifices as an organizer and fighting for the cause, even to go being arrested and be blamed for everybody's protest there. So, you know, I like you say, visiting legislators, and you've been organizing and teaching people there how to go and visit legislators and all that. One of the challenges I have is to go inside the governor's office and face him, you know, face to face. Is that impossible? I mean, what advice do you have that I know people say it's not important, but.
You know, that's a really good question. So Ramirez's question is, can we get a meeting with the governor himself? Has anybody here ever actually been in a meeting with the governor himself? I don't know anybody who has, except who? Michelle. Bring a microphone to Michelle. Let's hear it. How did you get it?
I did not, but I've had a group of. I've not gotten in, but I've had a group of members of a group that I was with that did. And how did they get in? It was prearranged. And it was a few years ago, and it was, I don't think it was with him, I think it was with his staff. So, and I don't think anybody has ever really gotten in with our groups to see him. And it's very difficult to even get into his staff.
I think, I mean, I guess the question is, what is the hope with a face-to-face meeting? I think if Jerry Brown is elected, you could, I mean, I could see how a delegation could absolutely request and get a face-to-face meeting. I think it would absolutely be worth trying with Whitman. I think it would be harder. I think what governors and presidents like to do, you know, they have staff whose goal is to surround them only with the positive. So they don't really want to hear people delivering the message that they don't want. And, but one of the things we've all had to learn is meeting with the right staff can be as helpful, if not more, than meeting with the elected him or herself. And the real question then is, for the next governor, how do we find out who the right staff are and find that out early and get in there early? And I think that's part of this conversation about what needs to happen between November 3rd and January 10th. And part of it is who's going to be there, who's going to head up their transition team for Health and Human Services, who are they likely to install as head of Health and Human Services, and also Department of Finance. That will be critical.
Am I next? Good morning. I'm all the way in the back here behind you. Hi, my name is Maggie Belton, and I'm from LA County, and I would just like to say I received a 3.6% cut as a diabetic going in, and first they cut off a toe. Next you go in and you get your foot cut off. You go back and you get your leg cut off halfway up. You go back, and next thing you know, you got a toe off the other foot and you're legless on that side. I think we need to start looking now, those of us who are either active in the Republican campaign or the Democratic campaign, you start looking now at who is going to be in Sacramento, and you start making friends. And they will know who's going to be a part of the transition team. You use that friendship in a positive way to put you on the list so that you can get in to see the governor's staff. That's how you use that part of the system. I want to share with all of you something that happened to me when I went to see Assemblyman Anthony Portantino. In fact, he gave me 45 minutes, almost dropped dead with that. And then he said to me, Maggie, where have you all been? And I said, what do you mean? He said, you know that the bill to cut services to in-home supportive services is being carried by the leader of the House and the leader of the Assembly. He said, so you know nothing can be done about it. He said, where were you all in making your inroads before it got there? And my statement to him was, I do not know. Felt kind of like a fool, but you know, that was my response. Because somebody among us, me included, dropped the ball. We were not there to get hold of that group politically to make our impression so that some of these things didn't happen. And that I wanted to share. I shared it with LA at our board meeting, and I'm sharing it with you. We need to start yesterday putting our political power together. We vote. Last time I checked, most of us were old enough to vote. Somebody paid the price for everyone in this room to vote. Somebody is in Afghanistan and Iraq today paying the price so that you can vote.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you.
The system.
Thank you very much.
I'll stop.
Okay, thank you. Wow, what can I say after Jessica Rothar, but thank you for getting us powered up and ready to move on with this conference, and not just this conference, but take the advice that she said, and let's get out there and get the letters. And remember, if you cannot do something as an IHSS advisory committee member, you can do it by yourself as an individual. Take the knowledge that you receive from being on your committee and use it personally. So, Jessica, I can't thank you enough. Let's thank her.